Welcome to the Bear Pit Pod, which is now a championship podcast.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't at all. I'm gloomy as
anything.
As relegation can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Championship podcast. It's little things like that that keep slapping you across the face. You have the moment where you go down, and then 2 days later, you just think, oh shit, you forget.
It takes a while to sink in.
It really does. I don't think it'll sink in. So I spoke to a mate of mine who got relegated from the Prem. I forget who he supported now, but he said about October time is when it hits you. When you kind of a Tuesday night away at ... it's when it really starts to hit you.
Bolton.
Well, yeah.
To make us feel somewhat better about this now being a championship podcast, go and give us a like wherever you're listening, SoundCloud, YouTube, Acast, wherever. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. But yeah, we'll get into it. For the keen, eagle-eyed viewers of you on YouTube as well, yes, there's some tissues next to me because it's hay fever season.
Okay.
That's also struck me to add to the misery.
It's not been crying over relegation.
No, it's been tears from
the old hay
grass.
Right, yeah.
And stuff. But yeah, the game on Saturday, obviously it's going to probably hurt us to relive it, but going into it, I remember there was a few scares early on. Loftus-Cheek went pretty close. Mm-hmm. And that was about it for the first
How did you feel on the morning of it? Because
I was fucking shitting myself.
Yeah, because I remember from going post the Burnley game, convinced we're going down. Then we had that out of the blue draw at Liverpool, and I was, in hindsight, stupidly optimistic post that draw. I was feeling well up for it. I don't know, I thought something was going to happen, I really did, and
it didn't.
It didn't at all, yeah. It didn't.
But we did go 1-0 up. Shaqiri, probably our player of the season.
I mean, he has to. I mean, there's a load of points I could kind of accuse him of not doing X, Y, Z, but purely off the basis of stats alone, he has to be player of the season, doesn't he? Really, he just has to.
Most assists.
Just has to be.
If there's any way we could say he isn't.
No, I felt we were lucky to be winning 1-0. Not that Palace were dominating or battering us, but we looked toothless up front, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, the free kick itself wasn't all Shaqiri.
And if you're going to boil it down, he hit the wall.
Yeah.
And this bit of luck we've been requesting for so long, I feel we got it in that instance. Really got it, because you couldn't have hoped for a rebound to take it so perfectly into the goal as that rebound did. I was
going to say it looked brilliant on camera.
It did. It looked like the perfect free kick until you see it again. So I was thinking, look, that's a bit of what we needed. But leading up to us taking the lead, and for the minutes after that goal until they equalised, we were poor. We were rubbish. We really were. We didn't deserve to be winning. We looked toothless up front, gutless.
Agreed. And I think this was the start. It might have been for the whole game, but I'm going to say the half for now. Is that we had no shots on target in open play.
It wouldn't surprise. No, I don't think we did. I don't think we
did.
did.
And for a must-win game,
it was rubbish.
That's desperate.
It was rubbish. The only half-decent chance I can recall is that one where it hit Juice 50p head and bounced harmlessly wide for a goal kick. I can't think of anything else that we did.
As I think about it now, I think that stat is for the whole game. And how mad's that? In a must-win game, to coin your phrase, which you don't have to say again now for a very long time. It was just shocking.
It was rubbish. It was a replica, really, of the Burnley game, when you think about it, wasn't it? I suppose against Burnley we had a few more chances.
Well, we've had this situation so many times when we go in at the break 1-0 up or 0-0, still 0-0, hoping for a draw. Yeah. And there's some hope there. We've had this situation so many times and we just lose from winning situations.
Yeah, and think of the three off the top of my head is Palace, Bournemouth away and Burnley at home. They're the big Palace away as well, actually. I don't know, I can't put my finger on why. I've been trying to put my finger on why we keep doing this. Lack of fitness, lack of discipline, lack of structure, lack of a decent goal scorer. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It was a shit performance in it. I'll say it again, in a must-win game, a must-fight game, if nothing else. Battle, harass, chase. It was gutless and it was crap.
Literally after we came, well, it wasn't straight after, but in the second half, I'll run through it quickly because there wasn't many chances for us, as we just said. But there was they hit us on the break. Loftus-Cheek set up MacArthur. He made it 1-1.
Yeah.
And then
their left back.
Yeah.
Where the hell was our fucking tracking for
that?
And
then in the 86th minute, found Neil and Coffey in the break again. Van Arnold, the left back, keeps onside. Slots it home past Jack to confirm our relegation. And you were there, and it seemed weird on TV, but what was it like when the final whistle went and that was it?
It's weird. The confirmation for me wasn't the final whistle, it was the second goal. When that went in, I mean, even when they scored the equaliser, I didn't have the kind of the belief or energy to, you know, when you have them big, God, we can do this, lads, we can get the second goal.
None of that.
I didn't have that within me. You could sense it within the crowd. There was no drive to get the winner at 1-1 because it just felt so familiar, and I just had no faith we were going to get that second goal. When they eventually scored the second goal, that was it. I've never been at a game and watched as little of the pitch as I did that last 5 minutes, 5 of injury time or whatever it was. I just stared down. I didn't raise my head because I thought, we're not going to score 2 here, are we? We weren't going to score 1. It was a soulless end to the relegation. It wasn't like chuck everything forward, chuck the kitchen sink. It was none of that at all. From the second they equalised to the final whistle, we did absolute fuck all. We didn't attempt to break forward. We didn't alter the formation. It was just crap.
It was dire.
It was awful. It was awful.
And it was Sobby who came on to try and do something. It was him who eventually gave away the...
What's your thoughts on that? You put, because I mean, when that sub occurred, a lot of people around me, family included, were kind of going hell for leather at Lambert, saying that's a ridiculous sub. Da, da, da. I kind of agree a little bit. I think Crouch, if nothing else, was causing them problems. He was taking away from their defence. But that's not the reason we lost.
No.
I feel we were going to lose regardless. And Ramadan, that pass where he gave the ball away, it was at least a positive pass. And if anything, you watch that again, it's Shaq that doesn't move to the ball. My dad made me watch that chance about 1,000 times after because he likes to analyse that. Just things like that. And for me, Shaq doesn't move to the ball. I don't think it's the worst pass from Ramadan.
And the lap of applause, whatever we're going to call it these days, they changed it from the lap of honour to lap of something.
They didn't mess about, did they? They didn't go off the pitch to come out. I mean, they went, as soon as the final whistle went, there was a bit of sobbing from Jack and whatnot. Around the pitch. And
I mean, a lot of people are obviously, Jack's going to probably have this big money move, or he's going to go somewhere in the summer. It doesn't mean that he isn't, doesn't love the club he's been at, or that he doesn't have feelings for them. And he was in bits at the final whistle, absolute bits. And we put the picture up on the Facebook page or Twitter, whatever it is, and people are going, what's he crying at? He's going to be playing Champions League football next season. It still doesn't stop him being a human and having feelings. Like, obviously, he's absolutely gutted to have a relegation.
Of course, he didn't want that to CV, and a lot of people. I was even looking at it myself today. These crocodile tears. But I think Jack is one of the good guys at our club. He's not had the greatest of season, but then who has? He's made some errors in the latter part of the season, which has been quite costly. But I truly retain the belief that he's one of the good guys at the club. He's one that gives a shit. And of course, it's sad to see. Yeah, he's going to be sad. Regardless of whether he's playing a bigger club, the Champions League next year, he doesn't want to be relegated, does he?
No, of course he doesn't.
At all.
It didn't look like crocodile tears at all to me. He was,
I don't
was
think
properly
bawling.
sobbing. Yeah.
Bawling, yeah.
I think this week we should completely scrap best and worst.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's not worth it, is it? It was a poor performance.
So we are heading to the Championship, right? Can we think of any pros as to being in the Championship?
Yeah, more value for your money, your season ticket.
Pies are better.
Are they better?
Apparently, that's what I've heard. We haven't been there for 10 years, but apparently the pies are better in the Championship. The places we can expect to visit next year are the newcomers, Blackburn and Wigan, who've been promoted. Obviously, there'll still be another to come from League One in the playoffs.
I hate the pair of them as well. I don't like Blackburn and Wigan. I've been at them grounds plenty of times over the years.
Then there's the people in the playoffs of the Championship. There's Fulham, Villa, Borough and Derby. One of those will go up. Which would you rather go up and not see? For me, it'd be Borough.
What, because you're
I'd rather Villa, Fulham and Derby as away days than Borough.
Well, I'm putting aside the kind of the experience for away day and looking more at the competition.
So I'm looking at it away day. I'm probably looking at it from the... you're right, Craig. I'm probably looking at it from the wrong point of view. I'm looking at it from the piss-up point of view instead of how we're getting back into the Premier.
I mean, we've been all these grounds. Generally, we know what to expect. I want Villa to go up because I think they're the biggest club in the Championship. They're the ones that are going to continue to invest, and you assume at some point they're going to click and go up automatically. So I feel to get them out of the way now just makes the most logical sense for me. It is a good away day, I'll give you that, but I'd rather get rid of competition.
So you want...
I want Villa to go up, really, yeah,
okay.
if I could.
That's probably one of the best away days out of all them, the 10th. I like Villa.
Yeah, it's good.
So, but yeah, we've got for different reasons. Also in the league, Millwall, Brentford, both Sheffield clubs, Ipswich, Bristol, Leeds, Norwich, QPR, Forest, Birmingham, Hull, Reading, Bolton.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's there's the odd team there that I've not visited for years now. Obviously, I mean, 10 years in some cases, and I get a hint of excitement that I might go to a place I've not been for a while. That will wear thin very quickly. From a personal point of view, I live stupidly close to QPR, so that's the shortest away trip I'll ever have to do. I don't know. I'm seeing no positives at the moment.
No,
I really am not. I mean, I'm just kind of. I'm bloody distraught.
I mean, to me,
shocking.
I mean, we'll come on to the things that have been said and all, recruitment and all that sort of stuff. But for me, if we can rebuild properly this summer and we do it wisely, and I'm not saying we'll do that with the people who are still involved in recruitment.
Yeah.
But if we were to, I think that straight back up is there for the taking.
It's because you usually look at the Championship and think, oh, there's several big clubs there. Or clubs that are always near the top, but I actually looked at it like you're saying. There wasn't clubs bar Villa, Fulham maybe that I feel are ones that are going to be a slight cut above the rest. I really don't. I think Derby are much of a muchness. I don't think there's. Yeah, if we get it right, I think we can certainly be in the top pack.
100%, and I guess it suppose who comes down with us as well. West Brom are the most likely, odds wise, even though they've had an amazing run of form. I backed them at the weekend. I knew they'd beat Spurs.
I saw that.
And then it'll be one more out of probably Southampton or Swansea, most likely, unless Huddersfield drop a few points.
Yeah.
But even out of those,
I think Southampton would do well. I like to think Swansea, out of all those down there, would probably tread water the most. I can see Southampton coming back quickly. I think they've got a decent squad. They shouldn't be down there. I think West Brom would definitely be the biggest competition. They've done it how many times?
Yeah,
they're the
what they're
cliche yo-yo club, aren't they? They know how to get out of that division. Yeah, West Brom would be a big threat. I think if they go down, when they go down, knife edge, you know.
Definitely. So if we do it right, I've got the belief that we can come straight back up. But it's going to take a lot of things in my mind, for that to happen. I think there's a lot of changes that need to be made, but we'll have to see what happens with them. Obviously, another thing is TV coverage is going to be cut. We'll be on Quest.
Exciting.
With Colin Murray. We've had a few messages actually into the page this week and last week from overseas fans asking about coverage, and I'm going to be honest with you because I know that some of you will be listening. It's going to be touch and go.
Yeah.
Whether you'll be able to watch Stoke anymore or not.
Yeah.
If we're on TV, there'll probably be a slim chance that it'll be shown on a foreign channel.
We'll get the
You'll be able to get a stream maybe on the internet somewhere, but when we're not on TV and it's just a regular fixture, you're going to be, if I'm being honest, you're going to be struggling. It's difficult to watch a Championship club who's not on TV.
Yeah, I've got a few mates who are Championship fans, and it's very touch and go with your streams and all that sort of business. But
sometimes you can get something dodgy like a stadium feed, or it's being shown. I don't know. I don't know if this happens in the Championship, but I know in places like League One and League Two, for example, Rochdale. I know a Rochdale fan at work. You can sign up to a streaming service if you're not in the UK.
Yeah.
You can pay so much, you can watch every game through the website.
Who's filming, like,
I think again it's just a stadium feed, or just the club do it themselves, and there's a commentator and whatever it may be. And my mate, he was telling me about this service for when he can't go to games. He's like, I wish I could watch it. And I goes, well, you can use a VPN, change your IP. So now when he's at games, he uses a service like he's an overseas person.
I think you need to put them instructions on the site.
Yeah, I will. But that's if we do that, and I don't know if we can do that in the Championship. But going back to the main point, I think it's going to be very difficult for you to watch the majority of Stoke games next season, unfortunately, if you are overseas. So that's why we're here, though. We'll give you some more coverage of the club. Obviously, there's not going to be as much Premier League coverage. We're not going to be on Match of the Day every week. All goals and tactics and things aren't going to be analysed on Goals on Sunday. It's just not going to be that way. Once you drop the division, the interest goes away, so to say, from the mainstream. But we'll be here. I said last week about video ideas from people, and some people have sent some in. We'll probably see what we can do. We might have to get some more people on board or open it up a bit. But Yeah. Sorry, overseas fans. You're just not going to see Stoke as much anymore.
It's shite, isn't it? If you've lived away from the UK, this must really hit home.
Yeah.
Really hit home.
Yeah, definitely. Also, this weekend, as when we were relegated, there was so many people glad we're down. And it was great to see that we've ruffled so many other clubs and people's feathers whilst we've been in the Premier League. Arsenal fans especially this weekend. But yeah, we must have caused some noise.
That's what Stoke are best. It's weird now, you can really step back and reflect on the 10 years in the Prem and look at what you're most proud of that Stoke did. And the thing that leaped out for me, and it was obvious this was coming, but how underappreciated we were during the Pulis years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was obvious at the time. You used to drive at the wall the stick Pulis would get, both from Stoke fans and opposition fans. Your long ball, you getting rugby team, and all this sort of bollocks. We created that identity, and we did what we had to do.
And that for me is what makes the league. I think these clubs with different identities, different personas. That's what makes it exciting to watch. You don't want everyone trying to play the same way, like in Spain, so to say. Everyone's trying to play tippy-tappy football, and I sound absolutely Brexit here by saying that, but it helps and it adds some character to the league when this team plays with different styles.
I was so proud of that, and I don't know. I bet you there's a load of Stoke fans now who, not that we would have stayed up with Pulis and flourished.
No, neither of us are saying that Pulis should have stayed.
I think it'd run its course, but even now he doesn't get the credit he deserves for the job he did. And it still winds me up. This was long before I got on Bear Pit, but I was a massive Pulis fan. I agreed he had to go when he went, but the stick he got was just ridiculous at the time. It really, really was. And what Hughes took away from the latter part of his time at Stoke was what Pulis instilled into that squad. And the squad that we finished with, God, if you could give me that 2011 Cup final team, think of the heart and character in that squad. The shower shite that we put out on Saturday, it's absolute chalk and cheese. It ripped the heart and soul of our club eventually. I say we, Hughes did, I suppose, by the end. Don't know.
But yeah, it was good to see us causing such a fuss. So many people overjoyed that we've gone down. Glad to see the back of us.
Yeah.
Some other people tried to make light of our misfortune with Port Vale fans. Their plane never went over the ground, as it was rumoured to be, with a bye-bye Delilah banner on the back. Yeah. That never happened. Apparently there was rumours that they couldn't get the £250 together for it. I'm not sure how true that is. But
just say it is.
What did happen, the reality of what Port Vale fans did, is two of them went onto the Stoke car park a day after the game and put a sticker on a lamppost, which really showed us.
I mean, they must appreciate how small that makes them look. Because I think a job for a start. What are they doing? This was on Sunday.
It was a bank holiday Monday. Oh no, yeah, Sunday. Sorry,
a bit tired of themselves.
Bank holiday Sunday.
Oh, come on. Oh, they just missed out on the conference, being out of the Football League, but I had to let them have the fun. I mean, good luck to them. I know we would rather bloody support and what I've been witnessing over the past decade. I think. If that makes them feel happy, Al, they can put all the stickers
let
they
them
want.
do it. Let them do it. I've actually seen, this is when it's getting petty now. I've actually seen someone today's put a Stoke sticker over it, and then again a Vale fan's gone down and taken the Stoke sticker off. It's like sticker wars now.
Yeah, they just need to focus on getting that stand built. That's a bit last week. Let's get the stand built.
The Port Vale's own media team as well tried to take the piss.
Yeah, they did. Didn't
so they tweeted out, "We're getting a bad Wi-Fi connection here ahead of the game against Cambridge. Can someone tell us what the result of the early kickoff was?" Obviously,
whilst tweeting,
implying that
whilst
we're
tweeting.
down. Whilst tweeting, so you've
tweeting
obviously got an internet connection.
Yeah.
We said about we didn't even know that they got a Wi-Fi connection down the League Two.
Yeah.
It's a little joke. And then Vale went and got thrashed 5-0.
And just missed out on relegate. Well, I mean, they were safe going into it, but they another year they could be out of the Football League.
Hopefully they are.
Yeah, let them have the fun, that's fine.
Going into some of the stories now, because obviously since we've been relegated, all shit's hit the fan, whether it be players saying things or statements.
It's all coming out.
So it's all coming out.
Yeah.
Everything's coming out. But we'll start off with Jack Butland, who was the first to hit out, and it was at the recruitment process. And he said, "I think the whole recruitment process needs looking at, to be honest. We've gone into a game, and over the last few months, with half the squad dotted around the world, not even involved. Too many of the recent investments have been completely unused, and that's unacceptable. For any changes to happen, that's got to be looked at, because it's been farcical." Adam also chirped in. He was on Radio 5 Live, as he always seems to be these days. He's definitely preparing for media career after his playing days are up. Adam said, "We discussed recruitment weeks ago because we felt things weren't right and we could sense it. Lack of discipline from certain players has been embarrassing. I think some players have been getting away with murder for a long time." He goes on to say a bit more, but what do you think of those 2 points first off? I mean, I feel a little bit of irony in Adam's point.
Yeah, I mean, jumping on to Adam first, I know you've never been the biggest of fan. I've, prior to his kind of balls up this season, his penalty miss and his sending off, I have always been an Adam fan. I'm not saying he was Maradona, but I think that
definitely wasn't.
He's definitely Maradona, but I think he was a decent player for us over 6 years. I think he's contributed enough that he should, have a certain amount of respect from Stoke fans, not to be lambasted. I mean, he's been getting more stick than like Hesse and Berahino, throughout media circles, and I don't think that's on. At least he kind of gave a shit. And the irony is, he missed a penalty, got sent off, whilst bemoaning the kind of discipline of others. A little bit short-sighted, but I probably know where he's coming from at the same time.
Yeah, I sort of agree. I mean,
I still think Adam will be an addition to the Championship. That might get slated. Yeah, I really do.
I'd like to get shot.
I really do. I think he'll be a decent addition to the squad in the Championship.
With Gerrard going to Rangers now, I could see him going back to Rangers.
Potentially.
Together at Liverpool.
I honestly think it'll get slated me saying this, but I would keep Adam, and I would I think he's what you need to get out of the Championship. I think he's. I think there's enough. I think there's enough quality in Adam, and I think there's also the passion and drive.
He'll probably want to stay on, because if I go on to the rest of his comments, he also went on to say we have players coming back from loan. Adam also mentioned Bojan in his comments. He said Bojan had a horrendous injury and never really recovered. Great guy in the dressing room. Didn't speak a word of English when he first arrived, but worked hard. But then the injury did him in. Manager had an issue with Marco. There's other stories everyone knows about.
Why did you mention Bojan? What's his point about Bojan?
I think he's saying about how he tried.
Is he having a little dig there, or
no? I think he's saying.
Okay.
But again, he says about the injury there. The injury did him in. Bojan was better after his injury. There's a misconception a lot of people don't understand. Bojan had better stats all round after his injury. He was better.
I didn't see it. I'm not saying he was.
You might not saw it, but
I don't think Bojan was ever given. I think he kind of half fell out with Hughes. He was never given a proper crack of the whip post injury. I can't recall him having like a 10-game stint back in the squad.
Well, yeah, that was down to Hughes. Yeah,
it was down to Hughes. I don't quite know what happened there, but he was never given a real good go at it post his injury. But we definitely saw glimpses of the old Bojan. He was definitely there, but for some reason he was bombed out of the squad, and I don't quite know why.
Adam goes on to say there will be players who want to try and stay and get us back up, and it's the club's decision. We did try and sort out the problems in the dressing room. It's difficult. We try and help the younger guys in the group. We try and tell them it's wrong, but they get everything too soon. The biggest problems are Instagram, Facebook, and social media.
Who's that digging out then? Cheapo, Hesse.
All of them are on it. Yeah.
Bojan, arguably.
Nah, I wouldn't have said Bojan. Not this season.
Purely because I suppose he's not. Yeah, but I mean that's ironic. I mean, I'm a fan of Adam to a point, but he's what's the difference between Twitter, Instagram, and 5 Live? It's the same mouthpiece, isn't it? It's the same sort of media.
Yeah.
Sort of coverage. You're getting your point at there, just by a different form.
But the key thing that Adam and Butland are all going into here is recruitment. Mm-hmm. And there's 2 people that lie with: Cartwright and Scholes.
We've combed it to death, haven't we? We did a lot last podcast. It's shy. We know it's been shy. I mean,
but nothing seems set to change.
Well, this is what's so frustrating.
Can we trust those men again to do the recruitment for next season?
I don't know how we can. I think it's insane that Hughes has gone, rightly so, but then Cartwright's still there and Scholes to a lesser extent. They're the 3 men who are responsible for this mess. We're going down because of them signings. Berahino, Imbula, Kevin Vimmer. That's why we're being relegated. That blame lies with Hughes, Cartwright, Scholes. One's gone. The other 2 have got to take a portion of that responsibility. They just have to. It is as black and white for me as that.
100%.
Them 3 players are the reason we're going down.
And on that point, the secret footballer who I think we all believe and know is to be Dave Kitson came out and said Charlie Adam and Jack Butland are bang on about Stoke's clique of certain players that were completely unsuited. The buck stops with the chief exec, Tony Scholes. You can drone on about the club learning lessons, but the main lesson is that the club needs a new chief exec, which I think is bang on the money.
I mean, yeah, I struggle to disagree. Black and white, that's why we're going down. He's responsible for the signings, as is Cartwright, as was Hughes. Done.
It needs to change.
It needs to be changed, yeah. Something went majorly tits up and it wasn't being monitored from the board down.
I mean, Tony Scholes is the one running the club effectively.
Yeah.
He's the chief exec. This shambles of fitness when everyone wasn't at this
This
fitness,
is we
where
did
they were
this
all
last
taking,
week, didn't we?
where they were all taking the piss. Apparently, fitness levels weren't there. Someone isn't doing the job. Someone isn't watching what's going on at the club. These signings, someone hasn't vetted them properly, and the book does stop with Tony Scholes. He's the fault for all this. How can we sit there and say he's learnt his lesson and give him another go?
What winds me up the most is recruitment was poor. You sometimes misjudge players' personalities and capabilities, and that happens. Yeah, frustrating as it is, that does happen. It was this, and he openly admitted this. It was this kind of poor management of the squad and managing team that we quoted last podcast. No one was monitoring what was going on that training pitch, and the more we kind of look into it, and the more that comes out, it just sounds like Hughes has just switched off from that. He was giving the players complete autonomy to do what they wanted, and you can't run a business like that.
No.
If you manage a business, your boss El's not just gonna, say, well, El's got his own techniques, we'll let him get on with it. You check in, don't you? You say, well, what have you been up to? Let's have a look at your performance. Are you doing this? You're doing that. The fitness isn't looking good, or whatever. I don't know how it's come to this, that he was given such control and power. And I find it really, really interesting that Hughes got on so well with Cartwright and Pulis didn't. I think the contrast of that is very, very evident.
Speaks volumes.
It really does, yeah. And Pulis is always about the character of the player, which is it's so important. You can the character of the player can be almost as important as the quality of the player. If you haven't got the character, you're pointless. Look at half the team, Hesse. And Pulis was all about that. Hughes, it seemed, it didn't seem like he invested any time or effort into looking at the character of the player.
It's even things off the pitch as well, nowhere away from football, that don't seem to be checked up on as well, and the quality control, so to say. And I always bring it back to the media and things like that. But even that, I mean, how many tweets and things are going to come back to bite us? The ambition thing with Hesse, that looks absolutely ridiculous.
I know,
absolutely ridiculous. It seems like we just had it. Everyone's been left to their own devices at the club.
Yeah.
Whatever department it is, it might be media, it might be the training, it might be the canteen, it might be God knows what. But it seems like no one's taken an actual real control over.
Yeah, and to Lambert, to be fair, it looks like he did try and instill this discipline. Whether it was too quick, too soon, I don't know, or rather too little, too late. But at least he tried to instill that, and you have to respect him to a point for doing that.
It obviously, there was, obviously he did try to do this, and it was just not enough. Berrino banished to the under-23s straight away.
Yeah.
It's been going on for so long.
Chaos. I mean, there were so many relegation cliche boxes we ticked, weren't there, leading up to the inevitable ill discipline and all these stories coming out. It's you know what? Now it's done and dusted. Let's just be totally honest. This was coming on for a long, long, long time, and we slept. We slept walked into this. The signs were there. The signs were truly there.
And the one thing that keeps coming back to bite Peter Coates now is what's all the fuss about? The quote, 12th of December.
Yeah, after the Burnley game, wasn't it? Is that right?
I think so.
Something like that, yeah.
And that's gonna haunt him. That's gonna haunt him because it's all everyone uses now. All everyone uses.
I think I get a bit of stick for this, but I'm always reluctant to jump in with too much criticism with Coates. He's made mistakes, not for 1 second am I denying that, but I don't want to use this forum to go in too hard at our chairman for what he's done. So not denying the mistakes, though.
So getting on to the manager, breaking story last night, the Guardian and Telegraph were both reporting it, is that we've got the option, and Paul Lambert has the option to part ways at the end of June. Do we?
Lee's not going to enact that, is he?
He's not going to, of course he isn't.
He's been given a great job. I don't know. I've not felt on the fence about this sort of thing with Stoke for years and years. I'm going to have to sit on it. I really don't know. You look at his record on paper, it's inexcusable. 1 win in 14. Chris Kamara went for less in 98.
They've got the same win rate, I think.
Yeah, they have now. Chris Kamara's gone down as a bit of a joke in terms of Stoke and his career there. I mean, and it was crap. It was rubbish. He sent us down effectively. Lambert's done no better. You've seen kind of hints of kind of improvements, certainly defensively. I'd say attacking wise we've regressed. We look worse than we ever done under Hughes. I know Hughes really kind of bombed forward too much. Oh, I'm so on the fence. I'll put it this way: if it came out that Lambert had gone tomorrow, I wouldn't exactly be crying.
No.
I wouldn't be crying. But at the same time, if it come out tomorrow, he's definitely staying. I'd be like, right, okay, let's go again. I think I like his ethos. I like his kind of his mentality around discipline. I see elements of what Pulis brought to the club in Lambert. But at the same time, I see the negative sides of what Pulis brought to the club as well. The overly defensive. You look back at the game, and every time we broke, the strikers were just absolute isolation. The midfielders were clearly told to sit, and then it didn't work for us. I'm so on the fence about it.
Okay.
Maybe you can give it a definite answer.
I was on the fence, and I thought, you know what, who else is out there? But then I've come round to the way of thinking. There's plenty of options that make me more excited. There's untried and tested. You've got your Graham Potters out there of the world that a lot of people are advocating. He's obviously, I think he put some videos up recently, or there was something from the Ostersund's maybe social media team where he was explaining the ethos of creating a team, and he did things to get players out of the comfort zone. They went to dance classes and things like that, and it all sounded very good. But obviously, this is he's taken a lower league. Is it Swedish club? Until the higher divisions, and obviously the Europa League. So he's got some credentials there. Obviously, this would be a big step for him. And the other thing is he wants the job.
Yeah.
So that's one option, so to say. You've got some other options out there that are tried and tested. Maybe you're Marco Silva, who's out of work. Imagine you could get Marco Silva.
Potentially. I don't know if he dropped the Championship after.
You never know.
Potentially.
You've got some people calling people like Mick McCarthy, which is a strange one.
I don't mind Mick McCarthy, but he's had, let's face it, a very bland time at Ipswich, hasn't he? So I would be a tad gutted if that.
You've got the option that we went for, who's now out of work, is in Quique Sanchez Flores.
Yeah.
I mean, John Coates is a big advocate of.
Yeah, I mean, there's no evidence to suggest he's got the credentials to get a team out of the Championship, so I'd stay away from that.
There isn't. But these are just some options that I was going to give you. There's a few more that I can't think of.
And there's a few rumours that both Sam Allardyce and Moyes won't have a job.
Exactly
come
that.
the summer.
So Moyes will be gone.
Moyes, no, I won't go near that, to be honest.
And Sam Allardyce.
Sam Allardyce, I mean, I can hear it now. Half the fan base at Stoke will be moaning at that.
And some would love it.
It's Pulis all over again, that kind of split. I can see it already. It's Pulis here at part 3. Half the fans will be slating it, the other half will be kind of against it.
And it'll probably work.
And it will probably work. So by that token, I think, I won't be too good. If you told me now Sam Allardyce could come, and obviously it means Lambert would go, I'd probably take that.
I'd probably take that.
that.
Well, I'd probably take a couple of those managers. So for me, if that's what were to happen, and I'd probably I'd take the Graham Potter option as well for myself, because I think it'd just another change. I think it'd reignite the fan base.
Yeah.
Someone they could get behind, because I think Paul Lambert's already lost a majority.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a poll on the page, and I think it was 75-25 about that.
I can imagine. I do like him as a man and a manager. I think he's very honest and likeable bloke. But of course, you need more than that.
You need the results.
Yeah, of course. I think here's my vision, Al, for what could happen. Here's my kind of theory. If we keep Lambert, we won't go up next year, or not even maybe the year after. He will do a slow rebuilding of the DNA of the club, and I think we'll have a good go at it in maybe 2 to 3 years' time. That's sticking, of course. If we twist, we could have an instant bounce back with someone like Graham Potter, but that could go majorly tits up, and we could end up kind of lower mid sort of level. I'm not saying we'll go down, but I think we could really kind of unsettle the club and the philosophy. So I think with Lambert, we're going to have a unspectacular next year, but we'll be rebuilding to mount a challenge in 2 or 3 years' time. If we twist, it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be success, or it's going to be an absolute washout.
Probably take the twist myself.
Would you?
I am a gambler, so
you do like a good gamble, don't you? Yeah, you do well.
Do all right.
You do well.
Lastly, before we get on to
this is such a grim podcast, isn't it?
To record, and hopefully they get better next season.
The thing is, when Stoke aren't performing, or in this case get relegated, I don't know about other Stoke fans, but I always like to kind of I like to kind of be around people that are miserable and unhappy.
With you,
yeah.
So at least if other people enjoy that, we're being that comfort blanket.
I went to the pub after just to kind of drown my sorrows in a bit, and so someone come up to me and says, "Oh, it's not that bad. It doesn't matter." You know, them sort of comments. We're like, I don't need to hear that.
Don't listen to it.
No, it is bad. It does matter.
But yeah, I got severely drunk on Saturday night to cope with that. Yeah.
I went to the Chippy.
Did you?
That was my opening mechanism.
I didn't get in until 7 in the morning.
7 in the morning?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Don't I? But it wasn't. I didn't feel well the next day. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And I didn't need that. But before we go on to the people's questions, I did have it written into my little mini schedule that the board and owners haven't come out and said anything yet, but they did this afternoon. So I'm going to read it. This is out at 4 p.m. It was a message from Peter and John Coates. It doesn't say who wrote what bit, but we'll just assume it's both of them. We've been very proud to own Stoke City along with Denise and through Bet365 over the last 12 years and have felt privileged to share with you some fantastic times and experiences. However, the 2017-18 season has been a bit of disappointment to us all. Everybody at the club, including ourselves, are deeply hurt and frustrated at relegation. When things go wrong, it is inevitable that a great deal of soul-searching goes on. You ask yourself the question, what should we have done differently? What mistakes did we make? It's important that we ask these questions in order that we learn and improve so that the club is in the strongest possible position to make a return as quickly as possible to the Premier League. Hindsight is a wonderful vantage point, however it is clear that significant errors were made in the transfer market. There was a desire from us all at the club to improve the quality of football we played, both in terms of entertainment and league position. And players were brought into the club that was felt had the ability to help us achieve our collective aim. Unfortunately, the squad became unbalanced and perhaps lost some of the core values that have served us so well and are so crucial when you have a bad spell. It is absolutely clear that a majority overhaul is required. So they acknowledge that,
it's got to be some changes.
There's got to be some big changes. We need to regain our identity and focus, and the summer will be spent doing this. It is right that supporters will question whether we should have made a managerial change sooner. As a family, we are inherently loyal people, and this loyalty has served us well in the business. We will always give people that little bit longer than most to prove themselves, and this will continue. However, this does not mean that we always make the correct call, and again, with hindsight, we perhaps should have made an earlier change. So that note to me says Lambert staying.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, 100%. That's the pre-setup so fans can digest it before that kind of news breaks.
So I'll read that line again. We will always give people that little bit longer than most to prove themselves, and this will continue.
Yeah, Lambert's staying. And, we spoke about Lambert a moment ago, and if he is staying, which it looks like he probably will, get behind him, let's go again. I do think he's got the right philosophy to run a club, and I'm going to back him, obviously.
To finish off, our core focus is now on the future. We are absolutely committed to continue, along with Denise, our significant emotional and financial commitment to this club. We will be doing everything we can to help us secure a return to the top flight of English football as soon as possible. We absolutely understand that this is going to be a great challenge and we cannot offer any guarantees. However, please be assured that we will do all we can to work with everybody at the club to assemble a squad that can make us all proud again. Finally, we would like to thank you again for your wonderful support both home and away during the season. It has been magnificent.
Yeah.
But the key standout for me and many other people on social media is the line about the loyalty and that they'll get another chance and they continue to do that.
Yeah, I think Lambert is under immediate pressure though. I think he's got till... I think if we're not in the top 6 come November, Christmas time, he'll be gone.
Yeah.
He's got to have an instant impact.
He needs to get off the bat straight away. Let's get on to the people's questions. Charlie Bester, which players do you reckon will stick it out in the Championship with us?
So, we know who's going, don't we? Shaq, Allen and Butland are going, we know that. I think Bauer's come out and said he will stay.
Yep.
The biggest one for me is Ndiaye. We've got to keep him.
He's surely got a relegation clause.
Probably. I'd like to think we can keep him. I think if we keep him, it dramatically boosts our chances of an instant return. I don't know who else is on the fence, really. Crouch has come out a few weeks ago and said that he wants to be in the Prem. That's where he wants to be. Crouch, for all his benefits, wouldn't be the greatest of losses, I don't feel, because he is ultimately a squad player at his age.
And he came out with that line over the weekend about he signed a new contract, not expecting us to be
in the Prem, yeah.
He actually responded to the Bear Pit tweet as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
What did he say?
I can get it up.
I think Crouch won't make or break a promotion campaign. So, we'll have to wait and see. Ryan will stay, Indy will stay, Bauer will be staying. I feel Grant will be on number 1. Peters will stay. For all the stick that Peters has got over the last 18 months, I think he's a passionate player that gives a shit, and that's what you look for. When you look at the pitch, it's that cheap emoting. There's a reasonably talented player in there, but he's just a little bit lazy and he pisses about on social media.
To go on to the Crouch bits, we said these were quotes from Sky Sports interview that he did. Peter Crouch, I'm staying at Stoke if relegated. It's a difficult one. I signed for another year because I thought we would be in the Premier League. It didn't even enter my head that we wouldn't. I have to take stock in the summer and we have to address what has gone on this season because we have been nowhere near it. From a personal point of view, it would be a real shame to leave the club. He then responded, when I said take stock, I was talking about addressing how we are where we are. I haven't thought about my personal position once while we're in this fight, and I don't intend to start now.
I think I'll stay, Crouch.
Do you?
I do think I'll stay, yeah.
I don't think you will.
So, I don't know. I mean, the original question, who will stay? Bauer will stay, and a massive question mark. Cheap emoting.
Adam Grant.
Adam will stay. Berahino is the most confusing one. I don't have a clue what the club's thoughts on him are, whether they're keen just to sack him off. Will a promoted team take gamble on him? I don't know. But what will piss me off, if a promoted team does gamble on him, like a Wolves or Cardiff, and he starts doing it in that top flight, that'll finish me off.
I can't see it myself. Alex Lewis, should we be flattered or pissed off by Arsenal's obsession with us? Flattered.
Flattered, definitely, yeah.
Because they're a big club in English football and can't seem to get us from under their skin.
Yeah, flattered.
So flattered. Dom says, I have a question. Do you feel relieved that we are relegated? I felt it was so much pressure since January that now I feel I don't have to worry about it and can look forward to having a go in the Championship. Fair point.
No, I mean, I'm generally gutted. A mate of mine texted me this kind of stat, which did kind of give me a little bit of optimism. Borough the season way down Middlesbrough. I think they won 5 games scoring 20 goals. This season they've won 26 games scoring 80 goals. I like to think we'll be in that sort of ballpark, which has got to be something to be excited about. Because we've got a similar kind of...
I can't wait for next season now.
I mean, I'm not buzzing about it. I'm still gutted, but we are going to see more wins. Surely.
We fucking hope.
Surely. I mean, a lot more wins. To quadruple the amount of wins. And goals. I mean, that is something. To actually kind of go into a game as generally favourites would be nice. Premiership's great, obviously, but it does get a tad frustrating going to so many games. Man City and Chelsea thinking, well, this is a loss. So yeah, I mean that's something, I suppose.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, we do the right recruitment and all that, and we come straight back up, and it'd be the perfect scenario. You smash the league and come back up.
It'd be great. This time next year,
celebrating the majority of games wins.
Yeah, I mean this time next year, it would just be amazing. You know, having just been promoted. I mean, it could happen. We'd look back on this one and think it was worth it almost because we've had a great season, but of course an instant bounce back isn't as frequent as you'd like to think, so I don't know, it's going to take a lot to do that. It really will.
That's it, we can hope.
Yeah.
That's Stokey Robert. What do you guys have in your oatcakes? What makes the perfect oatcake? If I were to have one, I haven't had them for a while now because my mum used to force feed them to me most nights and it put me off them, but if I was to have one, it'd be bacon, beans and cheese.
I like to go with cheese rolled up and then just beans poured over the top.
Oh, fancy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fancy. I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer this question. I don't know if you will be, Craig, because I wasn't even born when this team existed. But if the current team played the Stoke team from the 1984-85 season, who would win?
Is this the season we went down on 3 wins?
This is team with 17 points. And he says, I was at the match that day and also saw the 84-85 team play. If we have a shit season, at least do it in style, Stoke.
I mean, I was born in 86 and I think we held the record for the lowest ever point total for a relegated team up until Sunderland got it like 20 years later, so surely to God this team will beat them once. Surely.
You never know.
Ironically, we beat Arsenal that year, we went down as well, in 84, I think. So we've got a habit of beating Arsenal even when we're shit, it seems. At home anyway.
Take that. Yeah. Luke Barker, do you think we'll keep any of the 3 major people out on loan, Muneza, Mbula, Bojan? He says he'd personally like all 3 to play in the Championship. I would too.
I don't think it's going to happen. Give them a go. I said this last podcast. I don't know why they weren't recalled instantly under a fresh manager, fresh start.
I believe Muneza's got a buyout. Like they can buy him now because they stayed up. I believe that's an option.
Yeah.
Brilliant Scholes and the lads.
Yeah,
give them an option to buy him.
Nice. Yeah, I'd like to see them all come back just to give them a go if nothing else. We can always sack them off again if it doesn't work.
I'd definitely take Bojan and Mbula if Muneza can't come back.
I do worry about Bojan's physicality in the Championship. But in Mbula there is an amazing player there. And if you get him clicked in that Championship, he will absolutely destroy it. Absolutely destroy it. But that's a massive, massive if.
Agreed. GBU, never know how to say that. On Luke's alone, if they weren't football players, what do you think the following players would do as their career? Alan, farmer.
Farmer, because he likes his
Shaqiri, selling Herbalife on Instagram.
Does he do that anyway, does he?
I don't know, he might do.
Do
But he'd definitely be like a gym.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Crouch.
I mean...
Is he a virgin, like he always
like
says?
A virgin,
Footballer,
a virgin basketball player.
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So that's the...
Or comedian, he's funny, Crouch.
Yeah, he's a funny guy, actually. Liam Stokey says, how will Craig cope now Swansea isn't a must-win game?
I was glad to raise that. That's a good question, because I've got my ticket for Swansea. It's my girlfriend's birthday on the Saturday, so it's her birthday weekend or whatever. I've not yet booked my train because I'm waiting to see what happens. So my dilemma is now, I'm after answers here because I don't know what to do. Do I fork out £85 return for the train, which is roughly a 7-hour round trip, to witness our last game of the Premiership for I don't know how many years? Or do I just knock it on the head? And if I do knock it on the head, does anybody want to buy a Swansea ticket for £30? I don't know what to do. Part of me thinks I'll just go and have a laugh and have a few drinks. But that's £85 it's going to cost.
Craig's basically now using this podcast to sell his ticket.
Potentially. First of all, tell me if we should go or not. If it's universally no, does anybody want a Swansea ticket for £25? So a slight discount for you. Use what you can, Al.
Nick Nuss, we've already covered it, but does anyone know how to watch the Championship in America? It will be touch and go.
I will create a manual for that.
It will be touch and go. Delilah at Delilah's Man. When Ryan's testimonial comes around, because it has been 10 years now, which players would you love to see play? I think it'd be very similar to the Wilco testimonial.
Yeah, it'd be the 2011 sort of team, wouldn't it? The Pulis era.
Yeah, it's got to be every
the old
turn.
scattering of maybe players.
Get James Beattie round.
Yeah.
You'd want to chuck in Fuller. You'd want Steno if,
Yeah, I'd like Pulis to manage the opposition.
Pulis.
Just to be quite cool.
Who else? Tommy Sorensen.
Just look at 2011.
Faye.
Abdullah Faye, yeah. Hoof.
All the lads.
Johnny Walters. Yeah, the boys that we were proud of at the time.
All the boys.
Yeah.
Who would you want the opposition to be?
Arsenal. Ramsey's captain.
God.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Wenger as the manager, obviously.
That'd be brilliant. Harvey Todd says, this is the first time I've experienced a relegation. For that matter, we have never been relegated in my life. I'm 14. I was stood there at the ground blank. My biggest worry about this relegation is doing a Sunderland. What are your worries that we have come from this relegation? I don't think we'll do a Sunderland.
No, there's too much structure
in place, even though they've obviously made mistakes. I think that that they've got their intentions in the right place.
Yeah.
They want to make the club.
Yeah, we'll not do a Sunderland. No chance. My biggest worry is because realistically, like I said, we won't do a Sunderland. I say confidently. It's just becoming an Ipswich. That sort of mid-table, the occasional flirt with playoffs, but ultimately never making it. That's my worries, that we could just have 5 years of just nothingness. At least when we were doing that in the Prem, it was the Prem, of course, but the thought of just finishing 12th to 8th in the Championship for several seasons is really depressing.
Yeah, that's
really depressing.
Horrible.
I feel like we've got the funds and the structure to have a good go at it, so I don't think that should happen there.
We can hope.
Yeah.
We can hope.
I think we'll be okay.
Harry Adderley says, favourite flavour of soup?
Mushroom for me.
Chicken and veg.
Chicken and veg, yeah.
I'm going to go for. A couple of people are asking, including at Vintage Fuller, after the scenes of Jack crying and also him being pretty positive on social media about bouncing back, I think it was today, do you think he'll stay and fight for promotion?
I doubt it. I really doubt it. It'd be some coup to keep him. I think for the good of the club, we actually have to sell him. I think the club will get more from his sell than if he stayed. As good as a keeper as he has been, I think we'll get 30 to 40 for him, and I think that could fuel and drive our promotion campaign. I actually want him to go. Not because I think he's a bad keeper, but I think the money that we get in, we can reinvest. I think we've got a decent understudy in Lee Grant, and I think it's a smart move to force that sell through, to be honest.
So you'd be happy?
Yeah, as long as it's not Wolves.
Yeah,
I'll be happy to go. Yeah,
well,
for the right price.
They're after everyone at the minute.
Yeah, they're going nuts, aren't they?
Matt Bennett says Robert Hoof is a free agent. Do you want him now we're in the Championship?
100%. Just to have Hoof back at the club and his
I
personality.
think Stoke Loudon Proud actually was claiming that he was at Clayton Wood this last week or so.
Oh, I'd definitely have Hoof. But even if he doesn't play a game, I just think you have, because he's a legend, Hoof. He's dead funny. Just to have him back at the club and behind the scenes to kind of get them
certainly
that old
sort out anyone.
Definitely. He wouldn't have allowed Hesse and Berahino to piss about. I'd definitely have Huth back and Walters whilst we're on it as well. I can't help but think there's a little opportunity to maybe get Walters back. He enjoyed his time at Stoke. I think he clicked with Lambert. Obviously, he's had a bad time at Burnley with his injuries. I think we should go for the pair of them. Yeah.
Jason Robach says, "What's your highlight of the season?" Beating Arsenal.
Probably witnessing the only away victory at
Watford.
That was
Yeah,
it.
that was
We
pretty
watched
good.
that,
Yeah,
didn't
that was
we?
pretty
We got
good.
lucky there. I mean, how many away games are there? Was it 18 or so? Yeah, we got lucky. We actually got an away game in there. Away game victory, rather.
And a few games we've gone together as well.
Yeah. I think Watford away, just because it was that rare.
Okay.
That rare.
Take that Watford away. Jamie Coker, what's your guess on the first home game next season?
I reckon it will be something that'll really slap us across the face to announce that we're back in the Championship. Something like it'll be Wigan away.
Wigan away.
Which is just drab.
I'm going to guess at Forest away.
That's a good one. I'll be up for Forest away. Wigan away, just
Simon Forrester has made a comment which I don't think he's on about us. I think he's on about maybe Charlie Adam. But he's put, if your comments are true, why not name and shame the Bone Idol fuckers?
I'd love him to. I mean, he seemed when he was delivering that statement, because it's on the BBC website, the video of it. He seems like a valve's been released. In his mind, he's been like, right, fuck it, I'm going to go for it now. And I don't think he was probably too far from naming them, but it sounds like he's going to have a good go in the dressing room who these people are and really call them out, which I think is needed. So I think, fair enough for Charlie for doing that.
Elliot Conlon says, would you have Daniel Sturridge as our striker for next season out of contract in the summer? I think coach loves a bargain.
I don't think he would be a bargain. He'd want at least 70 grand a week. I don't think that's our sort of market anymore. He'll go to a promoted team. I would have him, but I just can't see coach spending that sort of money on him. His wages anyway. He'll end up at Wolves.
Yeah, something like that.
Put your house on that.
Kieran McKinney with the last question of the week. Will we see Ngoy, Sutar, T-Bird for Linden and Tyrese Campbell given a run in the first team next season?
I mean, I don't know how half of them I'm not really kept up to date with the under 23. I know that Ngoy's not exactly tearing it up at Walsall. I think he's been on the bench recently. So I don't think...
Telford's been banging him in.
Yeah, he's been doing okay. I mean, I'd like to think so. I mean, I'd like to chuck some of these youngsters in against Swansea. I mean, why not? We've got nothing to lose.
Well, let's get on to that. Who was your question of the week?
I like the one about the Swansea ticket because it allowed me to publicise that there's a Swansea ticket.
It allows you to
potentially for sale.
Put your ticket on the marketplace.
Potentially for sale. Or is anyone driving from London who could give me a cheap lift?
Give Craig a shout. At C. Beresford
1863, yeah.
Weird how I know.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Everyone's handles.
Yeah.
Next up, then, it's Swansea, the relegation party, which you may or may not attend. Do we just fuck it, throw the youngsters in? Sorts?
Yeah, too right.
Nothing to lose.
I think we assuming Lambert's going to be in charge, which we think he will. I think we assemble vaguely what is going to be our starting formation for next year. Not necessarily team, because it's going to be very, very different. Assemble that formation, which should be 4-4-2, and just have a laugh. The fans, that is, not the players. They can try and work, because I think a win would be nice, I suppose. But the fans certainly just have a laugh. Yeah, that's all. I mean,
I want to see everyone having a proper relegation party. I want to see beach balls, all sorts.
Yeah,
everyone and I'm sure we will. I know exactly what our fan base is like. I'm sure that everyone's just going to be absolutely smashed.
But it is grim though, because I was so excited for this game being a winner takes all one. It was all poised to be this. I mean, that's Southampton Swansea tonight. They've got that tonight, but I was buzzing for that day. I thought it could be a really famous day in the history of Stoke where we survived, but it's gone to shit.
And the other thing, if we do throw this game, then a good chance of sending Southampton down.
I know. I never kind of want Stoke to lose, obviously, but if it means Hughes goes down, I won't be overly
First
dismayed.
manager to relegate two clubs.
Yeah, I won't be overly dismayed if we concede a last minute winner, which I never really like the sound of. Even saying that sounds weird, but if it sends Hughes down, why not?
Fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. Well put.
That's been the Bear Pit Pod then.
The relegation pod.
Well, we've got one more.
Yeah.
We've got one more. So this has been...
That'll be cheery as well,
the penultimate podcast. There's one other thing that I've just remembered to mention, which I can't even mention, so it makes me no sense even bringing it up, but I've had an idea for a little bit of, not merch, but something that'll get us all in a good mood, that we can all wear next season.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it is off camera, but stay tuned. I'll probably pull it out this week before the game on Twitter or somewhere at Elliot Hackney. I'll be wearing it.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it is
Treat
after.
to see
Just
out.
a little tidbit that people won't know about until they see it. But that's been the Bear Pit Pod. Go leave us a like on Acast, YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever, iTunes, all of it. Leave us a 5-star review. And we'll see you next week for the final podcast of the season. Don't forget, we're a championship podcast now.
Cheers.
See you later.